let's go back 22 years ago, when my illness started. At the time, I was only about 26 or 27 years old. I remember I had been married for 3 or 4 years and didn't have any children yet. I was a slim young woman, 164 centimeters tall and weighed around 49 kilograms. I had always been thin and weak and had always wished to gain more weight. I clearly remember that about a week or 10 days before my symptoms began, I had a strong desire to gain weight quickly. So I started eating very high-fat foods. During that week or 10 days, I made myself very rich and high-calorie smoothies. I would put milk, cream, butter, bananas, and nuts in a blender and drink 2 or 3 glasses of that smoothie each day. I also used a lot of oil in my meals. Of course, I don't want to say that this caused the symptoms of colitis or inflammatory bowel disease, IBD, to appear. No. Inflammatory bowel diseases like colitis and Crohn's don't develop overnight, or even in a few months, they take years to form. These diseases usually develop gradually in the body due to an unhealthy lifestyle that one has followed for years. They slowly build up over time and eventually show themselves as IBD. In my case, that was exactly what happened. The high-fat diet just acted as a trigger that lifted the curtain and exposed the symptoms earlier. In general, I have always been an anxious and stressed person since childhood, since I was 4 or 5 years old. I remember I had different periods of anxiety that sometimes lasted for months. Something would happen, and I would be anxious about it for a long time, without telling anyone. I don't even know why I was like that in childhood. There was always this fear inside me. The longest period was during the university entrance exam, conquer, period. It lasted 7 or 8 months. I clearly remember I had severe anxiety attacks during that time, panic attacks to the point where the nerve endings in my abdomen were constantly being activated and it was out of my control. It became like a disease, even though there was no external or obvious cause for anxiety. Still, those nerve endings kept firing. I'm sure you've experienced this. When you get really bad news or something upsetting happens, what kind of feeling hits you? Do you feel anything in your stomach, like a knot or churning sensation? Maybe a sudden need to go to the bathroom? I had that feeling constantly, and it was terrible. I remember that during those times I would sleep only 2 or 3 hours at night. And because these feelings lasted for months, and in fact, years, they gradually caused my gastrointestinal cells to lose their normal function. Slowly, my digestive system moved toward developing inflammatory bowel disease. As you know, IBD is an autoimmune condition, and we all know the close connection between the brain and the gut. Whenever we feel anxious or scared, we immediately notice our digestive system reacting, we bloat, we get stomachaches, and this clearly shows the deep connection between the two. Having these feelings occasionally or for a short time is fine, but when it lasts for months, it definitely causes harm. And unfortunately, that's what happened to me. I remember during the conquer period I had very severe pains in my lower abdomen, so much so that I went to the doctor several times. I had multiple ultrasounds done, but nothing was seen in the results. And years later, that pain showed itself as inflammatory bowel disease. I started noticing blood in my stool and realized something was wrong. When it didn't go away, I went to see a doctor.